Hey folks, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show. And this is a podcast, a little mini podcast. Consider it part 2 from yesterday. Lots of things going on. Lots of, how can I put this? There has been word, and I've heard this several other times, not just today or in the last few days. I've heard this several times over the last few months, that there is a possibility of an EMP, electromagnetic pulse attack, on the U.S., and again, the source is a supposedly and allegedly a credible insider in the military, given to someone else who said that they are a credible insider, part of the military. They are high up. All this. Now, let me go here. I don't always believe everything everybody says. Okay? I just don't. Only because of the fact that we can be misled in many different areas. Okay? And as far as I'm concerned, anybody that has inside information, anybody that, whatever, any type of catastrophe man-made in that regard, like an EMP or whatever it is, people like that who get it third hand, fourth hand, whatever, I don't trust the information at all. They said that this EMP attack was going to happen going to start tomorrow, the 29th of May, 2014, and possibly go into June 8th or June 9th. Do I believe it? No, not at all. Did the fearmongers in December 31st, 1999, say what they said about, Y2K, and just blew it up all out of proportion, right? Nothing happened, right? So I don't believe anything that anybody says about an EMP attack on the United States. If it were, I think we'd all be warned in some way, shape, or form by something, I remember hearing things like that over the past several years that, this person has an insider in the military that said this is going to happen. There's a possibility, maybe a plausibility that it could happen because of the technology is out there right now. But will it? I don't believe so. I really don't. I don't believe so. I believe that people get their, they get all excited because of, this and this and that, whatever, In other words, they're being fed disinformation to mislead them everywhere. Okay? And I just feel that there are times, to be totally honest with you, that the second or third hand person getting this information, they're about 1 or 2% accurate, but the rest of the time, no. So I won't listen to them. I won't listen to them at all. If it happens, we'll deal with it. But to have somebody, second or third hand say this or say that, and is there a plausibility that it could happen? Or even a possibility? Yeah. I mean, it'll happen any time. You might go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow morning and everything will be shut off and you won't be able to turn anything on. But you won't know that until it happens. And it's silent. So, seriously. So anyway, I'll return right after this. We the people have the power, for we are America. The views expressed live on the Free America Radio Network, freeamericaradio.us. Waking up the masses. Truth, knowledge, and wisdom for your consumption. Waking up the masses. News and views concerning the New World Order. Waking up the masses. Join Bob Brutus as he pulls back the curtain on the esoteric agenda which has been in play for a millennia. Waking up the masses. WakingUpTheMasses.com. Welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. It's a mini podcast. Consider it a part 2 from yesterday. Now, here's something that I want to tell you. First of all, come join me on the Views Expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on freeamericaradio.us, Spreaker.com, WakingUpTheMasses.com, and on 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. I've dealt with many people over the years who have let's just say they have the ability to really feed you a line of crap and make you believe it. One of my friends said, yeah, they'll stand on a building, piss on your head, and tell you it's raining. You know, and that's basically what this government is. It's a bunch of lying, no good SOBs that have absolutely no care in the world of who you are, of what you are, anything at all. I mean, it's just, that's what it is. This government doesn't care. Some people will tell me that they don't, they don't like President Obama, but, he's doing the best he can. They make up excuses. I know people on Social Security disability. I know people on disability. I know people have been out of work for 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever it was, with no income. They've been unemployed for that long, but they've gotten, their emergency unemployment and their state unemployment, they're off the dole. They don't get it anymore. And they say that the worst part about it is there's no jobs out there. And I was unemployed once. And I went in to ask job people here. It's called Job Connect here in Reno, Nevada. And I went in to ask them about retraining. And they said, well, you got to get a job first, and then the company will, help you do that, and blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, no, if I'm going to go to work, I'm going to go to work. I don't need retraining. I just don't need that. But it comes down to the government's, I would say, complacency in this regard, that when you go to them and ask them for help, they're like, really? You look pretty healthy to me, that kind of thing. They just want to put you off. They just, they don't do anything. I mean, I went there when I was unemployed, and they basically put you on a computer and say, here's where you need to go, look for a job, blah, 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 we'll help you. And, that's all they do. Hell, I can do that at home. Okay, and I told them that too. That's why I stopped going at that time. And I told them, I just said, well, what do you have for this? And I asked them all sorts of questions as far as college, as far as retraining, as far as, any of that. No, they're not there to help you. And them and the Department of Motor Vehicle and the Unemployment Office and all of that, they're just there as bureaucrats, or I should say the minions of the bureaucrats, the slaves of the bureaucrats, because all they're doing is spending tax dollars, not helping one person out whatsoever. You want to spend $100 billion on a job program? How about giving 10% of that to people that want to open their own business, that want to, get a space in town and open their own business. And how about telling these places that have like strip malls that have empty spots, how about telling them to cut their rents in half? Or telling them, look, this person wants to open up a business, you don't charge them rent at all for a year, and let their business get off the ground. I mean, that's just the way it is. Here in Reno, Nevada, we've gone around and seen the empty spots, the empty storefronts, hundreds of them. I would even say conservatively 50 of them that I've seen with my own eyes. And these places have been closed or empty for a couple of years. So, these people that run these, that manage these places, that obviously pay the bills on these places, should give these places open them up to people who want to open a business and say, you got a year, let's see how well you do, then we'll negotiate a rent. And if they don't want to do that, then drop their prices 75% of the rent. Just drop it 75%. And say that's how much you're going to pay. And here in Reno, I don't know about in your area, but here in Reno, when you open up a space like that, you open up a business in a space, or even in, whatever it may be. In one instance, a daycare went into a church, and I heard that the woman that started it, the daycare, had to pay out $8,000 for fire inspection. And basically, if she didn't pass, she was out $8,000. Well, I think it's a service to the community, and the fire marshal needs to do that for free. Okay? Period. Or, if you don't pass, you don't pay until you change things. Now, I know some ordinances, and I'm just giving a general overview, but I'm sure that even if you had to pay, they help you out, and take payments and that kind of thing. I understand that. But still, the bottom line is none of that should cost the new potential owner or renter of that space any money whatsoever. In fact, I think that if you go into one of these strip malls and see an empty spot and you want to open up a business in it, that property management company should pay for the inspection of that place. But that's just me. I guess that's too logical to give people the opportunity to open up their business to create something better for their community. And maybe hire 2 or 3 people. Who knows? Maybe that's just too simple. Maybe that's not politically correct enough. Maybe the city government, the county government, maybe the state or federal government doesn't like that. Maybe all they want is slaves. They don't want you to think outside their box. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to do anything. They want you to be a slave to the grind. Oh, you worked at a place for 15 years, and when the place closed down or you got fired, you were making, $14, $15 an hour, and you think you need to make that in the next job you go to? Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, right. You ain't making squat. They want you to stay a slave. That's why they have minimum wage. Minimum wage here is $7.25 an hour. $7.25 an hour. Folks, that is severe, and I will say it, severe poverty. Okay? Severe poverty. That don't even put food on the table. Okay? That doesn't even put food on the table. At $7.25 an hour for 40 hours a week, that's $290 gross. $290 gross. Okay? That's $1,160 a month. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. I was making that back in the 90s. Okay? When minimum wage, I think, back then was $6.75. But I was making a little more than minimum with the work that I was doing. You see, folks, they want you enslaved. They don't want you enlightened. You see, folks, the government wants you oppressed so that you are depressed about your situation. You see, folks, the government doesn't give a rat's ass about you. None of your politicians do. None of your corporate shills in leadership do. None of them. None of them. You can say they do, but they honestly don't. You can say they do, but they don't. Not one single person in politics cares about you. Not one. And I want to challenge you, hopefully. Hopefully this is a challenge. Hopefully you're able to do it. I want to know what the result of this challenge is. So please email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Go to any one of your city council members or your county board of supervisors, even your board of education, just any number of leaders in your city, and I use the word leader very loosely, and ask them what their stances are, what their take is on the NDAA in your area. Get their take on, the BLM in your area. Tell them that you want the BLM and the Rangers and all of that disarmed. See what they say. One of two things may happen. They may give you the hugest excuse you have even heard in your life and send you on your way, or they may not even answer you. But it's up to you to hold them accountable. It's up to you to hold them responsible for everything that they do. Okay? They don't like that. They never have and they never will. And that's why you have to be a little more assertive. You have to know their ideologies before you even ask those questions. You have to know exactly how they disseminate the information in the ways that they do to get you confused so they can dumb you down even more. It's incredible, folks. It is incredible. I'll be back right after this.
Putting the local back into radio.
Local radio with a worldwide connection. The Free America Radio Network. Go to www.freeamericaradio.us.
Have you heard about a show called Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri? It's a talk show Well, it's called Grab Bag Potpourri for a reason. They talk about everything under the sun, from education to politics, from lines at the cashier in the stores to parking lot drivers not paying attention. You want real radio? Well, you don't get any more real than that. That's Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ah, damn politicians. My mother always told me this country would be screwed if the liberals had their way. The only sanity I get is when I listen to Jeff Wagner on the Conservative Voice, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
Real life, real passion, real radio. The most eclectic radio you will find anywhere. The Spencer Hughes Show. Listen to live broadcasts and podcasts at spencerhughes.net. Hey folks, welcome back. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. As I said before, consider this part 2 from yesterday. Anyway, now, let me, this is only going to be for a few more minutes till the end of the first half hour, actually. It's only going to be a half hour long. I'm just teasing. You're not going to have me for a full hour. Anyway, let me direct your attention to the fact that Hillary Clinton and Michelle Obama are in the news. I have read and heard people say that it is not possible for Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama to run for president at all. Okay? This is what I heard. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. I don't know the laws. I don't know any of that. All I know is that neither one of them should ever be outside of a jail. Okay? Has nothing to do with race or anything of that nature. They're both cut from the same communist mold. Okay? And I don't have anything against anybody except when they try to take my rights away and change my government to suit their own economic needs. And that's what, this is happening. That's what's happening. People are saying, well, we need this and we need that and we need that. Oh, and Hillary Clinton is running for president. No, she's not. She said she hadn't even thought about it. And because she is getting such backlash for her involvement in the Benghazi situation, the murders of 4 people within a gun running, situation, I don't think she would win. But when you look at everything at face value, and you have your blinders on, and you don't know the issues, and you don't understand what's going on, there is a very, very strong possibility that there are going to be people that are pushing for her to run for president. So that's something to think about. I think that anyone who wants to run for president, number one, should not be an attorney, and number two, should have a great deal of business experience to be able to be a strong and confident leader. But that's just me. I believe that people need to understand that to serve your nation is a privilege, not a right. I believe that people who want to be in politics should have their head examined And I think that people who stand up for what is right, what is moral, what is ethical, what is patriotic, and what is constitutional are in the crosshairs of those far-left liberal Democrats that absolutely do not care one iota about the freedom of this nation. And I'm not leaving out the Republicans either. If you're patriotic, they'll side with anybody that they feel they can take advantage of in whatever way. And then they'll go to their buddies on the Democratic side and say, well, okay, now we did this, now what? It comes down to this, folks. Discernment. You have to discern and use that, that gut feeling you get about something. That is 100% correct at all times. You have to understand what that is and be able to interpret what that is and discern the situation using your intuition. And frankly, what's been going on right now in our nation's capital, in our nation, and our world, specifically in the United States, is a travesty against the Constitution that our founding fathers designed and created for the first 13 colonies here on this land. It is important that we understand exactly who we are, and it's important to understand our purpose. But you don't know that purpose until you set your sights on your goal. And the goal of every single American, not every single American, the vast majority of the citizens of the United States is peace, liberty, freedom, security. Not only personally, but countrywide, regardless of religious or affiliations or color. Doesn't matter. You're all human beings. You all deserve freedom and liberty and peace. And how can you have that when you have a group of people that are jamming all sorts of political correctness down your throat and telling you that if you're a patriot and you're a returning veteran or, you stand up for the Constitution, you're racist? Well, those people are outright idiots. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton are both idiots because they are cut from the same cloth, just the other side of it, that Hillary Clinton and Michelle Obama are cut out of. And Barack Obama are cut out of. They're all communists. Yes, I said it. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are communists. But Jesse Jackson stood on the day that Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Yes, he did. And he changed his tune real damn quick, didn't he? That's something you got to think about. Al Sharpton's just a complete buffoon. He's an idiot as well. But we can all call names and we can all point fingers. But the thing is that when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do to get my country back? I like what Brian Lang over at Live Truth Radio says. Stand up, speak out, get involved. And that's what you need to do. Folks, come join me on the views expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. FreeAmericaRadio.us, Spreaker.com, and WakingUpTheMasses.com, also on 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. And I will talk to you later. Enjoy your day.